అందరికీ నమస్కారం అండి. Today we will discuss about master slave D flip flop. Master slave D flip flop. Okay, so in last class we will discuss about master slave JK flip flop. Okay, in this class we will discuss about master slave D flip flop. So here the master slave D flip flop. So this circuit this circuit is a master slave D flip flop. So here a D flip flop takes only a single input. Here a D flip flop takes only a single input. Single input, that is D means the data. Okay, that is the data input. So here the master slave D flip flop. This is a circuit. Okay, this circuit is a master slave D flip flop. So here a D flip flop takes only a single input. That is D. That would D means here the data input. Okay, so here the master slave configuration. Has the advantage of the master slave configuration has the advantage of being edge triggered. Being edge triggered. Okay, so here making it easier to use in larger circuits. Okay, so we are making is easier to use in larger circuits. It is easier to use in larger circuits since the inputs to a flip flop often depend on the state of its output. Okay, so here this is master slave D flip flop. Once I am telling, so here the master slave D flip flop. So here this circuit is a master slave D flip flop. So here a D flip flop takes only a single input. That is the data input. Okay, so the master slave configuration has the advantage of being edge triggered, so making it easier to use in larger circuits. Okay, so since the inputs to a flip flop often depend on the state of its outputs. Okay, so here this is the definition of the master slave D flip flop. So here we will discuss the D type flip flop. So here the D type flip flop is a modified set reset flip flop with the addition of an inverter to prevent the S and R inputs. Okay, S and R inputs from being at the same logic level. So here, one of the main disadvantages of the D flip flop is main disadvantage of the basic SR NAND gate bistable circuit is that the intermediate input coordination of set 0 and reset is equals to 0 is forbidden. Set is equals to 0 and reset is equals to 0 is forbidden. Okay, so here this state will force both outputs to be at logic 1, overriding the feedback latching action, and whichever input goes to logic level 1. So first we will loss control. So while the other input still at logic 0, so controls the resulting state of the latch. Okay, so but in order to prevent this from happening, an inverter can be connected between the set and reset. The inverter can be connected between set and the reset inputs to produce another type of flip-flop. To produce another type of flip-flop circuit known as that is simply called as data latch. Data latch. So here the delay flip-flop or D-type bistable or D-type flip-flop or just simply a D flip-flop. So here the D flip-flop is simply called as delay flip-flop. Okay, delay flip-flop. Okay, and D flip-flop. Okay, and D-type bistable. D-type bistable and D-type flip-flop. D-type flip-flop. So as it is more generally called. Okay, so here the D flip-flop is by far the most important of all the clocked flip-flops. So by adding an inverter, it means NOT gate. By adding an inverter means NOT gates. So between the set and reset inputs, okay. So here the S and R inputs, set and reset inputs become complements of each other, ensuring that the two inputs S and R never equal, that is 0 or 1. That is 0 or 1. So to each other at the same time, allowing us to control the toggle action of the flip-flop using one single D input, that is one single data input or D input. Okay, so then this data input labeled D and is used in place of the set signal, and the inverter is used to generate the complementary reset input, so thereby making a level sensitive D-type flip-flop from a level sensitive SR latch. As now here the S is equals to D, S is equals to D, and R is equals to not D. Okay, so here the set is equals to D and reset is equal to not D. Okay, then we can see the D-type flip-flop circuit. Okay, then we will discuss about the D-type flip-flop circuit. So here, the D-type flip-flop circuit configuration has the advantage of being edge checker. Okay, then we can draw the D-type flip-flop circuit. So here we remember that a simple SR flip-flop requires two inputs, that is one to set the output and one to reset the output. Okay, so here by connecting an inverter, that is NOT gate, to the SR flip-flop, so we can set and reset the flip-flop, so using just complements of just one input, as now the two input signals are complements of each other. Okay, so then we can see the circuit symbol of D-type flip-flop. So here a D flip-flop has only one input, that is data input or D input. Okay, so here this is the, and here this is clocks, and this is Q, and this is Q bar. Q and Q bar. This is the D-type flip-flop symbol. This is the D-type flip-flop symbol. Okay, then we can see the circuit of D-type flip-flop. Circuit for D-type flip-flop. So this is Q, this is Q bar. Q bar. Okay. So here this is the okay. So here this is the data. It has single data input. So here this is the data or D input. Okay, and this is connected to this one. Okay, so here these both are connected to clock. Clock. Okay, and this is related to not gate. Not gate. Not gate means inverter. Not gate means inverter. Okay, so here this is connected to dash and here this is connected to Q. This is connected to Q dash and here this is connected to Q. Okay, so here this is gated SR flip flop. Okay, so here this is yes, here this is R. This is gated SR flip flop. Gated set reset flip flop. Gated set reset flip flop. Okay, so here we remember that a simple SR flip flop required two inputs. Okay, so it required two inputs. One to set the output and one to reset the output. One to set the output and one to reset the output. Okay, so by connecting an inverter, so here these two are by connecting an inverter, not gate. Okay, so to the SR flip flop, we can set and reset the flip flop using just one input, as now the two input signals are complements of each other. Okay, so here this complement avoids the ambiguity inherent in the SR latch. In the SR latch. Okay, so when both inputs are low, since that state is no longer possible. When both inputs are low, that state is no longer possible. Okay, so thus this single input is called the data input. If the data input is held high, the flip flop would be set, and when it is low, the flip flop would change and become reset. So however, this would be rather pointless, since the output of the flip flop would always change on every pulse applied to this data input. Okay, so to avoid this, an additional input called the clock or enable. Called the clock or enable. So enable input is used to isolate the data input from the flip-flop's latching circuitry after the desired data has been stored. So here the effect is that the data input condition is only copied the output Q. Then the clock input is active. When the clock input is active. Okay, so this then forms the basis of another sequential device called a D flip flop. Okay, D flip flop. So here the D flip flop will store and out whatever logic level is applied to its data terminal, so long as the clock input high. So once the clock input goes low, the set and reset inputs of the flip flop are both held at logic level 1. Both held at logic level 1. Okay, so it will not change state and store whatever data was present on its output. So before the clock transition occurred. So in other words, the output is latched at either logical. The output is latched at either logical 0 or 1. Okay, so here at the output is latch, either the logic level is 0 or 1. Okay, so the D flip flop will store and output whatever logic level is applied to its data terminal, so long as the clock input is high. Okay, so then we will discuss about the truth table for master slave D flip flop. Truth table for master slave D flip flop. Okay, so here is the clock with S inputs D output Q and Q bar. Q and Q bar. Okay, so here this is the description. So here the clock signal is downward greater than 0. Greater than 0. So here the D input is not enabled, and here Q is Q bar. So here the description is memory is no change. Memory no change. Okay, and what is greater than 1? What is greater than 1? So here the data input is 0. The data input logic level is 0. So and the Q will output Q will be 0, and here the Q bar will be 1. Okay, so here the description of this input is, so if the code pulse generation is greater than 1, here the data input is 0 and the output Q is 0 and Q bar is 1, and the description of this input is reset Q. Reset Q is greater than 0. Okay, and less than 1, a port pulse generation. Okay. So not less than, greater than 1. So the data input is 1 and the output Q is 1 and Q bar is 0. Here the description is set Q is greater than 1. Okay, so here the main note is here the upward direction and the downward arrow mark. Upward arrow mark and downward arrow mark indicates the direction of clock pulse as its assumed D-type flip-flops or edge triggered. Okay, so and then we will discuss about the master slave D flip-flop. So here the basic D-type flip-flop can be improved further by adding a second SR flip-flop to its output, so that is activated on the complementary clock signal to produce a master slave D-type flip-flop. So on the leading edge of the clock signal, it is a low to high. Low to high. The first stage, the master latches the input condition at D, while the output stage is deactivated. So on the trailing edge of the clock signal, it is high to low. High to low, the second slave stage is now activated. So latching on the output from the first master circuit, then the output stage appears to be triggered on the negative edge of the clock pulse. So here the master slave D flip-flop can be constructed by the cascading together of two latches with opposite clock phases. Okay, then we can see the master slave D flip-flop circuit. Master slave D flip-flop circuit. Okay, so this is system data. This is inverter. Okay, and this is this is connected to Q. This is connected to Q bar, and here this is connected to Q. This is a clock. Okay. This is connected to this is connected to this one. Okay. Clock. This is connected to clock. Okay, so here this is S, here this is R. Okay. So we can see from above that on the leading edge of the clock pulse, so here the master flip-flop will be loading data from the data D input. So therefore the master is on with the trailing edge of the clock pulse. The slave flip-flop is loading data, that is the slave is on, then there will always be one flip-flop on and other off, but never both master and slave on at the same time. So therefore the output Q acquires the value of D. So only then one complete pulse, that is 0 to 1 to 0 is applied to the clock input. So there are many different D flip-flop integrated circuits available in both TTL and CMOS, transistor logic and CMOS packages. So with the more common being the which is a dual flip-flop, which is a dual D flip-flop integrated circuit which contains two individual D-type bistables with single two inputs. Okay, so here the main working principle of the master slave D flip-flop is, so here a negative edge triggered D-type master slave flip-flop consists of a pair of D latches connected. Okay, so here the master follows the D input while the clock is high and the latches the value of the input at the output of the master on the trailing edge of the clock pulse. Of the clock pulse. Okay, so here this is about the master slave D flip-flop.